What were the key goals of the EU missions in Bosnia-Herzegovina and Kosovo?
I think ultimately the aim of both missions was to modernize the police forces in Kosovo, where the mission was much broader, was an integrated, or still is actually an integrated rule of law mission. It is assisting the authorities also in the judges and the courts, so it is helping improve the capacities and the capabilities of the entire rule of law system.
Were the two missions successful? Why or why not?
Yeah. Well, let me start with EU police mission in Bosnia and Herzegovina. As I said, it was the first mission, so there were a couple of teething problems that the mission was facing, and a number of challenges that were unforeseen. However, I think the EU has proved in this case that it can learn its lessons in a very fast and a very efficient way. The mandate was adjusted on a number of occasions, so was the so-called mission implementation plan and all the activities that the EU police mission was undertaking. The objective was to leave behind a professional and modern police force that would operate in line with international and EU best practices. Now, how do you measure that? That's the big question. What we did is, before the EU police mission was closed, we did a lot of research and public opinion polls in relation to the perception of the BiH population vis-à-vis their police forces. And when the EU police mission left, the BiH police forces were the highest ranked public institutions in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now that suggests that EU police mission was quite successful.
What can the EU learn from the two missions in the Balkans?
I think a lot of lessons have been learned, and a lot of lessons still can be learned. I would believe that these missions, which are not very well known in Europe, are extraordinary foreign policy instruments. And I would wish that the population in the EU would know more about the successes of these operations, because it is my impression that the EU is often being perceived by EU citizens as something very bureaucratic and abstract that deals with the potatoes and other issues which are maybe not so close to the population. But in the area of the EU's common and security policy, there are a lot of operations that are being undertaken, that have been completed already, that really made a difference. And I would believe that the biggest lesson to be learned from the EU is to communicate more about their successes